I know that the situation over there is critical, but not as bad as it is described by mass media, right? Right, Israel is on the brink of the war, so there will be a war, so what? What else is new? I immigrated here during the war of Yom Kippur. Then I was here during the war with Lebanon. Then I was here during the war of Persian Gulf. Before that, I was many smaller conflicts and nothing. So what? How much of this life there, anyways? So we need to fight, and who's not at war? There are thousands places in the world there where there's a war. It's just when Jews are involved, it gives a special taste to chew it all, to chew it on. But how far do you think it's gonna get? Meaning, previous wars were very brief, to the point. This one is going to be the same. I'm sure it'll be the same. Who's there to fight with anyways? Give us somebody to fight with. There's nobody. We saw with Afghanistan, doing war with Russia. It's endless. Nothing you can do. We see what's happening in Russia with growth of Muslim population. You simply can't escape them because they're all over the places there. But constantly growing Islamic extremism in several places in Russia, Northern Caucasus, Kazan, and other places. It's gonna be a huge problem in the future, which we don't know how we are going to escape. For that reason, Russia has her hands tied. It can't be in its own politics. It always has to look around. It borders with many Arab countries, all like Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and so on. So Russia always has to check what's going on inside of it. So for that reason, Russia is dependent. It has no independent policies. It can't do anything, nothing. And more, it will be forced to play somebody else's game. And what else can you do? Nothing. The only solution here is to go for complete mutual disarmament, mutual friendship. In this case, we need a full connection between us, bestow love. Otherwise, we won't withstand anyways our battle with the nature, but here also with all of our problems. These problems are very critical, and whoever I spoke with in Russia about these issues, they don't even want to talk about it. It's unsolvable problems. Besides, Chechens are eager to go to serve in the army and all other places wherever they can. They're ready to do anything, but they're not accepted, even to the army. They want to go to serve, but they don't get accepted. So it's and in Israel, well, this is fate. This is our fate. Can't escape it. As long as we live, that long we fight. As long as we are going to live, that long we are going to be in that war. In regards to this, everyone here looks at it philosophically. So yes, we have to pay for it, for all that. And yes, people also die for it. But interesting is that mass media picked it and are presenting it as if there was a nuclear war or something. Oh, come on, mass media, who's listening to them? What are you talking? Can newspapers, can it be trusted, or the rest of them? Who's taking them seriously? It's interesting that by getting a grip of this one event, when I was in Israel, I remember that I felt myself way more safe than anywhere else in the world. Even in Moscow, if you go to an area called Butovo, you can get stabbed. It's way more dangerous over there, and here it's being presented as something very frightening, something very dangerous, and at the same time, they claim that it's all because of the upcoming election, like Americans do. Listen, all of the aspects are taken into account. There's no doubt. I cannot deny all that. I can only say that it's indeed so. There are elections play a role. The time, the place, the events, all tied together. It's not all that simple. Of course, maybe that played its role as well. Particularly now, is a good time to kick butts. Besides, I'll tell you, if there is a conflict cooking with Iran, let's say, if there is a conflict between Iran, which but will have to be kicked sooner or later. It looks like we're not. It's not clear yet. But if yes, we need to secure our backs. You understand? So here is a need to clean our own barns here, so we don't stay on too long on this topic. How long do you think it's going to go on for? It'll end soon. As soon as they reach the conditions when all of the rocket launchers, large and small, are cleared, as well as rocket factories. Today people don't fight with each other, really. Today it's all done with pilotless planes. I don't know how they call in Russian. Pilotless. Yes, pilotless planes and rockets. War became a children's game, like when somebody plays some game, you know. So I think when that point is reached, then it'll end. In fact, what's the point of having a war? Israel tries to avoid hitting civilians whatever it takes. Everybody knows it, it's clear to everybody. And civilians in Gaza itself are against Hamas. It's just that it can't do anything about it. They know that Israel does not go against them. Israel supplies them with electricity. We could have just turned the switch off, and that's it. That's all. There wouldn't be any power. Only for the civilians, for hospitals and such, we supply them with electricity. By the way, completely free of charge. Yes. Can you imagine who do you think is feeding them? You think Egypt is feeding them? Egypt is starving itself. We feed Gaza, and all that to show to civilian population that throughout many years, to tame them, to show that we are the remedy for them. That without us they would simply perish. See? And that goes on constantly, year after year continues. We provide them with money, natural gas, food. Well, maybe now they're getting their gas from Egypt, but before they were getting it from us. And power, electricity. And what's the root of such relationships from a spiritual perspective? Because you need to educate people that you, in fact, cannot do anything. And in our place, who would be able to be with them on one-to-one here? And keep good relationships. Who? Nobody. Because their goal is clear. It's a worldwide caliphate. It's that type of religion. It's not a religion really, because it's far from the true Islam, but so we need to look when they live through all that. Everything in the world has its expiration period. So this will expire as well. So Israel's sitting quietly and waiting with patience. Now we're going to wipe out all the rockets, blow as much as we can, of course, blow all of their underground supply lines of their weapon, and it'll be all quiet for some time. Meanwhile, we'll have to come up with new ways of detecting and destroying such enemy potential. If there was no civil population, it would have been ironed out in few hours. We would begin to throw bombs, serious rockets, you know. But since they are covering themselves with civilians, all of bunkers and rocket launchers they put under residential buildings. So they roll out like from underground garage a rocket launcher, fire the rocket and roll back right away. So you can't do anything. The rest of the floor is occupied by civilians. It's interesting, I've heard from guys that served in Israel army that they told me how they behave, you know, that during times when there is not much of combat activity going on, that during these times the people get in such spirit that they do things they wouldn't have done during peaceful times. They unite, they're polite to each other, they begin to think tactically, you know. Yes, that's exactly how it is. Egoism during times of peace. Don't let people become close with each other. In country, they are against each other. But under conditions when they feel danger, right away we see opposite of that. They annul themselves, so they become ready to connect with each other, and everything works out perfectly well. So we are conducting around-the-clock broadcast here on our channel 66 on the internet and so on. We have here people working 24 hours a day, and guys, by the way, many of them were drafted. Many among our friends. Yes, I have heard. But I don't think it'll go that far. I don't think they're going to do ground operations. Although there are very interesting things can be done by ground forces. They let in so-called snakes which self-navigate, roll into the bunkers, all kinds of underground structures where they have their launchers and blow up there. Snakes, you mean robots? Yes, robots. The type of rolling ball. It itself searches and detects somehow through its sensors where those launchers are. In darkness or light, doesn't matter. I don't know how exactly it's designed, and it blows up. So today ground forces are not really ground forces as we accustomed think of it. It's not shooting a rifle from top of the hill somewhere, you know. And there's no point in killing many people. You kill someone, then that means that you must be responsible for taking life. You must understand that your own is going to be killed as well. Today, at war, we count killed people from both sides. You see how ridiculous it is. It's like bargaining somewhere on a flea market. So it's an interesting tactic we have today. And how all this is going to benefit Israel? Is it going to benefit at all? It'll only postpone things, only postpone the time until we do what we're destined to do. Otherwise, there is no point. To wait until Arabs mend their ways, impossible, because ahead it's practically a worldwide caliphate for them. They're going to take over America. You'll see what's going to happen in America. You already can see there are a huge number of people that are accepting Islam. and Russia as well, among Russians and other nationalities. So it evolves further. And now Turkey has entered it right after Egypt, which is completely emerging into radical Islam. So now we have Turkey, and from Turkey it's going to go to Germany and France. There is already enough of that, and Europe is practically conquered. Practically conquered. And in England, there's also plenty of them. So in Russia as well, there are plenty of implications to anticipate that in few years the whole world is going to be painted green. It doesn't frighten me, really. I'm not for it or against it, as a matter of fact. I say that, nevertheless, the world will have to realize completely different paradigm, not religious. Yeah. By the way, non-fanatical Islam has lots in common with what Kabbalah teaches. There is no image of God in some kind of corporeal sense. There are no saints of some sort. There is a higher force, and it's prophet or a teacher that teaches this wisdom to people. That's all to it. So it was all good. And Islamic philosophy, it was very close to Kabbalah. Only this tendency to conquer the world, as it was with Christianity at some point, and then it simply aged and stopped being so active. The same way here, it's a period of conquering the world. When the religion explodes, it must expand, conquer, and then it ages, retires. What happened a long time ago with Christianity, I hope soon enough will happen to Islam.